This is what I'm rocking. We're going to be replacing it with that. Look how snappy that is. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful Fife, leaving to be exact. But in today's episode, it's a very exciting one because since I've had Dobby, I've not paid any attention to the front cab, in particular the radio. In the back of my mind, I've always had the idea that I wanted to replace the radio and I wanted to get something that's got a screen on it, but I've just never got round to it. Between building the van, all the other upgrades, the diesel heater, the trips, everything else, it's just always getting pushed back. However, thanks to today's sponsor, ATOTO, they have sent me out their X10 head unit. Just before I go any further, I have to thank ATOTO. They reached out originally asking if I would like to review one of their other products that coincides with a head unit, so you needed an LCD panel to use the product they wanted me to review, but I told them I didn't have an LCD unit, and that's when they emailed back and asked, do you want to review the X10 head unit? So a massive thank you to ATOTO for upscaling what they wanted me to review before to now this bad boy. Let's get it unboxed and see what it looks like. So in the box, I'm guessing this is going to be all the cables and stuff, so we'll get to this in a second. Oh, I've ripped the packaging. God, it's actually very light. So there it's there. And there's all your inputs at the back. I'll leave the plastic on just now until we're ready to fit it. So what I'm noticing straight away, it's got aux in, it's got a SIM tray and an SD card slot, USB slot, which is pretty cool. But the other issue I have is my speakers aren't the best. The left one keeps crackling a wee bit, so I do need to replace my speakers. It does feel kind of wrong installing this with crappy speakers, but do you know what? I don't care. Now, ATOTO did say to me up front that because every car's different with their stereo units, I might need to buy a power harness for it to fit. We'll have a wee look first of all. So in the box, kind of a loose instructions manual. Oh, we get a SIM card. I don't know if we'll be using this. I've never heard of this company, so I think I might just wirelessly, connect my phone. Then we have the brackets to obviously attach it to the new fascia. So we get two plastic surrounds. So one's thicker and this one's thinner, and I'm guessing this will just depend on whatever fascia kit you get. And we also get two screen protectors. So let's look at the cables that we get. So we've got an ISO connector A, ISO connector B. There is a lot of cables in here. Another ISO connector, but that's a hardwired one. So these three are the exact same, but what I'm guessing is these two will fit some makes of cars because of the ISO connectors. And then if your car doesn't fit, I'm guessing you can hardwire it with these and just use like shrink wrap and stuff, because the connector obviously goes to the radio. The only thing different that I'm seeing here on these two against this one is this one's got a 3.5mm jack. Oh, these don't have the 3.5mm jack, so I don't know if that matters. It's good that they're covering you either way. And you've got a audio jack. If you've got like a sub in the back and you've got different wired speakers, maybe they can go into the RCA jacks. Don't know if we'll use this. We will keep it though, because obviously I'm going to be changing my speakers, so this might give me more flexibility in the types of speakers I can get. Pretty handy to have. A USB cable, another USB connector. I'm thinking these cables are probably for the cameras at the front and the back. We don't have that. I've got the front and back Pelsi camera, but if I do get a reverse camera, these will come in handy. And lastly, we've got the antenna for the 5G, and it's a pretty hefty cable. I'll need to have a think where I'm going to put that. This is everything that came in the box, and as you can see, we've not got a shortage of wires. We've got the two USB for the front and rear cameras. We've got three ISO connectors. We've got the brackets for the unit. We've got the RCA cables, screen protectors, and fascia plastic bits as well that will go around the surround part. And obviously we've got the unit as well. That's everything that comes in the box. And also I forgot you get the Wi-Fi antenna as well. So when it's came to everything that I've done to the van, I've primarily done it myself. However, with some things that I'm out of my depth with, I don't mind asking for a wee bit of help. So that's why I've came down to Fife, because I'm anticipating some of the issues that I may have with the cabling. And yes, in the last video I did put an electric setup in the van, but this This is a wee bit out of my depth. And listen, in my head, surely these colours must just match the colours on your car, but it doesn't help when I'm colourblind. I can see colours, but not different shades of colours, so there's a bombshell on the channel. So that's why I've came to Fife, to see my brother-in-law Scott, because the guy has mucked about with cars all his life and he's far more knowledgeable about this stuff than me. This head unit is a double din, mine's is a single din, so it means we need to change the plastics around. So these are pretty hard to get, and I had to order mine from China through eBay, and it took about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks to come, and it was roughly about £40 to get it, maybe £37. So you want to do it right and get the right product, and this will come apart. If you can do it gently, Robert, without breaking it, that would be good, because the last thing I want to do is break it. Another reason why I'm asking Scott for his help, because when I start getting frustrated, I start breaking things, whereas Scott's got a much gentler approach to things than I do. So I need his calmness in a situation like this, and his finesse. See what I mean? That's why I need Scott. Scott would have just touched this with his gentle hands and it would have came apart. I think first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the radio out and just check in the back of it and see if any of these fit, and if not, then I'm hoping Scott's get the answer. So let's go. So currently this is what I'm rocking. First of all, I'm going to take this off with reluctance because this is on there quite solid, but again, we're changing this, so this isn't going to matter too much. We're going to be replacing it with that. It's going to be crazy. Let's get this out and then check to see if these fittings actually fit and see if it can just go straight in. So fortunately for me, this radio actually has been sitting in here kind of loose, so it is actually quite easily to slip out. So actually, let's turn the car off before we do anything else. And then, oh, well, that just came right out. I think that actually might work. If you can see it, they're actually very similar to this. Let's try it. Nah, it's not going to work. So the pins that I've got are on this side and I need them to be on the other side. Because of where the pins are, it's not going to just slide on. So I think we're going to need to hardwire it in. Oh man, that's gutting. Right, let's do it. So first for the channel, everybody meet Scott. Number 1% on OnlyFans.
Hello.
And I've got another wee hidden surprise as well in the back.
Hello.
That's Aria, she's a mascot. Scott's my helper to get this done because I've got the patience of a bull in a china shop and he's got the finesse of an angel. If he breaks it, it's on him, ATOTO. I never done it. As I said before, I couldn't get the pins in there because the way that they were on this one was on the other side, but apparently Scott's telling me that I'm full of crap.
It should just go
He's telling me that this should just go in. I don't believe him, so we'll see who's right. I still think it's got to be me, but we'll see. So this is connector...
This is B.
Connector B.
That should be it.
Nah, no buying it. It's not installed yet, so we'll see when the screen goes on. If this works, then it just means we don't need to hardwire it, and it just means that the connectors that you're actually getting could actually work for the car that you've got.
There we go.
The ISO connector's in, we've plugged it into the back of the ATOTO. See if this is as easy as what he's just done, then I didn't have to come down to the beautiful windy grey Fife. I can put a diesel heater in, but I can't do that. Well, we've got lights. You're kidding me on. I've just come all the way to Fife and all he did was just plug it in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new fascia in. Now that we know that the radio works and we've got power, I'm going to install the new fascia plate. So there was two ISO connectors. There was an A and a B, and this is the first one we've used and it's working, so I don't really feel the need to use the A, but obviously if I try and use some of the features and they don't work, then I can obviously, now that I know, I can swap the connectors over. So I thought the issue that I was going to have was trying to get the power unit to work, but it seems the new issue that I've got is trying to take the plastic surround off. Let me show you why. We've managed to get the top bit to pull forward, but now we need to get in the back of here, and I need to get these air vents off, but they're in wee clips, and clearly my tools are not getting the job done, so Scott's away to get a screwdriver. To get this off, there's a wee screw here and there's a wee screw here, and once you unscrew them, this comes off no bother. So there seems to be a wee clip there. So it just looks like you need to press it down. I'm excited about this plan because not only do we do it to this one, we need to do it to this one as well. Hey, that is why you are the man. He has done it. So let's get in there and look. If you can see up there the screw, you just need to loosen that and then we'll be able to take this off, but obviously you need to do the same with this one.
One eternity later.
Hey, well, let's go take the honours of unscrewing it. And again, the screws are at this side and that side as well. So like Scott's just took two of the screws out that are actually for the actual part where the thermostat and stuff is, and he's just now taking the screws out for the head unit. But seeing it like this is good because then obviously if I need to change anything, if I need to change a bulb, then I know what screws are coming out of the head unit. That should be it. So this should just cleanly come off now. Hey! That's all it is, just that there. A part of me thought that this was just a big massive hole and that everything was just going to fall in there, so it's good to know that there's a wee bit of plastic there. I'm going to give this a wee wipe and then we'll get the new surround on. This will be the new surround that's going in, but before we wire anything in, we're actually sitting discussing where to put the antenna wire. So there is this flat bit here that's the GPS and stuff, and I'm thinking about just putting it here so they're basically out the way, but they're also stuck to the dash. So on the back here, all we're going to be doing is putting the power connector in as well as the original car radio one, and then putting in the GPS, Wi-Fi. But another thing that Scott's just brought me onto, so initially I was going to get Wi-Fi for the van as well, so that when I'm away I've got proper internet and it's fast, and also I can upload YouTube videos if I'm in the middle of nowhere, because this head unit has also got Wi-Fi and 4G, so basically if you put a SIM in it, it acts as a Wi-Fi hub, so you don't technically need to buy a Wi-Fi router because this serves as it as well. I would never have caught on to that if he never told me. That's why he's here. So all we're doing just now is putting the legs, if you want to call them, onto the new fascia plate, and then we'll check how much room we've got to put the cables in. So we're not going to commit to putting it in yet, it's still just free, but we have got it on the rails, so we're going to see how high it is and then see if the top fits over it. There we go. That's the antenna stuck down, and that's it on. So we'll go over the features and everything else that it does. But thank you to the helpers.
You're welcome.
Aria, you look like you've been kidnapped and put on camera. So after a successful installation, I'm back up the road now so we can do the features on it. After installing it and having a couple of days to play about with it, the thing has just transformed Dobby, and I think the front cab has just been given a massive upgrade, a well overdue upgrade. So let's get into the features and I'll show you a bit about it. So for the unit itself, it's actually a 7-inch touchscreen, and it's got some buttons at the bottom as well where you've got your volume, on, off, mute, and basically a back and forward button, as well as a home button. And up the top left here you have a mic, aux in, SIM card tray, SD card slot, and down here you have a USB port as well. And also below the USB port there's a physical reset button, just in case the thing freezes, I'm guessing. So let's turn it on and see how it looks. So this is the main home screen that you'll be presented with, but you can customise it to your heart's content, and I'll show you that in a bit. So what I would recommend when you set the head unit up is go to system update first and just do any updates. And to do that you just go into the settings, scroll over and go to system update, and it will check for updates, and make sure you're connected to the internet while you're doing it. So one of the main things that's important to me when using a head unit is the lag. I hate when you touch the screen to try and slide it and it just takes ages to do it, but luckily this screen does not do that. Down the bottom here, if you click these dots, it brings you to the main menu. Look how snappy that is. I don't think the video is going to do it justice, but trust me when I say that this is speedy and not laggy. I think the best place to start before we start getting into everything is start with the settings first. To get in there, you press the dots in the middle, or the wee squares, and scroll over to settings. And if we click the top for network, where you can basically select your Wi-Fi, you can select your hotspot, you can actually use this head unit as a wireless router. If you were to put a SIM card in here, you could use it as a data point to get the internet for your phone, for your laptop and stuff like that. However, you can also use it as a hotspot, so if you don't want to put a SIM card in here, if you go into hotspot, you can Bluetooth your phone, and then your phone's internet will give you maps and all the rest of it. You've got your account, so this is where you would put your passwords in, and obviously your Google Play Store and stuff like that. You've got languages, security, screen lock and location. So I'm going to skip the double A's just now and go to the other settings. And in here you've got general, you've got your sound, your cameras, so this would be a rear view recording camera. I don't have that in here. And these are your steering wheel controls, we don't have that. You've got auto start. When you start the car, you can start up in any one of these apps. Default navigation, so which maps do you want to use. Voice button shortcuts, so that's more for the AI and stuff, which we'll get into later. And then you've got your Bluetooth. You would basically pair your phone for CarPlay, for your Android and all that stuff. Then the bottom for the information, you've got date, time, accessibility options, so you can set the display size and the text any size you want. You've got GPS, so basically you can see the longitude and latitude of where you are. Storage, let's cover storage. This has got 128 gigabytes of storage on it. So in here you can basically see wherever it is, how much it's taken up, but I'll cover more of that later. Next up you've got apps, digital assistant, then you've got reset, you've got about, where basically tells you what firmware you're on and stuff. While I was looking through the settings, I've noticed it's got 8 gigabyte of RAM, and that's probably helping with the speed of it and why it's no laggy and stuff. So let's go back to the double A's, and this is the brilliant part. This is where you can start customizing the whole interface. You've got your wallpapers that you can obviously change and have, you know, any background you want, but you can also put your own pictures on it. Not just that though, you've got live wallpapers. So if we go back and look at the main screen, you can see it's just a static image. And because this is touchscreen, you can actually press and hold the screen, and then it comes up with widgets, wallpapers. So we'll select wallpapers and it takes us back to the customization screen. So let's go to live wallpaper, and then you can select from these live wallpapers. That is insane. Let's select this one, and then down the bottom it's told you it's set. Look at that. How cool is that? But not only that, if you go into settings, there is another thing called palette, and if you go into palette, this basically changes the colour of the background in the menu. So you can change it here, you can have it black. Look at that, you can change the brightness, and again, look how snappy that is. You can customise this to your heart's content. And then you've got icon style, so you can have them more square or you can have them circle. On the home screen, this is the one that I've got set to, but you can change the styles, and then you can customise it yourself as well. So say you want style 3, then you click apply, and then it applies it. How cool is that? You can tell this is my first head unit. You can also set a screensaver. You also have a backlight, but I'm not sure what the backlight's for. And then if you hold it, you can go into widgets, and then you can add anything you want. You can actually take away stuff that you don't want. So if I don't have a reverse camera, I can drag up and remove, and it's now gone. It's really nice to use, and it's also got gestures as well, so you can actually pull down and see notifications, or you can pull down and then you get a control panel, and from here you can do your Wi-Fi, turn on your Bluetooth, you've got your volume, you've got your brightness, so you can actually dim it down, you can turn it up. So with any car stereo, we need to cover the radio. Even the radio is customizable, so I've already went in and pre-programmed everything. If you click in here, you can basically set the channel, but you can also name it as well, which is pretty cool. It's just so different because the last one I had is just all numbers and stuff. You can actually put the radio in mono, so if you click up stereo, it puts it in mono, but you can change how it looks. And if you don't want to listen to the radio anymore, you can just press pause down the bottom there. So let's get into the many features that this head unit's got. So first up, you can sync 2 phones to this head unit. If you have got an iPhone and say your partner's got a Samsung, you can hook the two of them up. As I said, you've got your aux in, SD card, SIM tray and your USB slot. And as I said, it's got 128GB of storage, so you really don't need an SD card or a USB stick. You could basically store your music, videos, anything on there. And that brings me on to the next feature. It's got HDMI, and if you see here, there's an option for it right there, but we don't have the connection, so it's not going to show anything. If you've got a DVD player in the car and stuff, you can hook it up to that. So what we're going to do is cover the apps. So up the top, you've got your assistant, you've got aux in, you would use that with your plugged in aux cable. You've got your Bluetooth, obviously if you're making calls, Chrome for internet browsing. Now the DDVR is basically for the camera systems. You've got the Drive Chat AI, but again we're going to come back to that. Got EQ, got front cam, you've got files, you've got find apps, Google, don't know what Lumi Auto is, got your maps, music, Netflix, you've got the Play Store, your radio, rear cam, your settings, Spotify, system update, torque, TPMS, video, web resources, widgets, YouTube and CarPlay. You can actually go to find apps and this will take you to the store for the actual head unit. We've got Prime, we've got Audible, we've got YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Pandora, Spotify. Let's back out of that. When you try and play a video either through files or a USB, it's going to say it can't play the video because it can't sense the handbrake sensor, but there is a way around it. If you go into settings and go to general, you'll get the option here, no video watching while driving, so this can be turned on and off and now you can watch videos. The files app is just like the main place you would go for all your storage, and you can see down the bottom here it says SD card, and then you can see your file down here, and then if you click it, you can see your video. Look at that quality. How cool is that? You can actually skip the video as well, like that. But the quality's stellar, look at that. So let's go to YouTube. So guys, go and check out Rick and his van. He's got a Doblo as well. He done a Halloween episode, he was away ghost hunting and he did EMF readers and stuff like that.
There's headstones and graves everywhere, but they're all covered up in leaves, so we've got to be really careful where we're walking. But this is where we'll come back a bit later on with the EMF detector. So
hi guys, go and check out Rick and his van, but as you can see, you can easily get YouTube on and keep the kiddies happy. So let's talk about the AI features. For the Drive Chat, let's click it. First we need to scan to log in, so let me do that. It's called the Swiftstone app. When I've downloaded it, it won't open on iOS for some reason, it just keeps crashing. As it is just now for the Drive Chat AI, I can't get in. It'll let me download it, but when I try and get in here, it's just not letting me. It was updated a month ago, so I don't know why it's not letting me get in. I don't know if it's different for Android. Again, I can't test it for Android phones. Luckily, the Drive Chat isn't needed for the unit to work. I will relay it back to ATOTO and see what they say. Let's get to CarPlay. So in order to set CarPlay up in here, you want to go into settings, and then Bluetooth 2, and then you want to pair a new device, so let's pair new device. On your phone, you just want to make sure that your Bluetooth's turned on, and then you can see the phone has come up. Click that, and it's now going to pair, and then all you do on the phone is just make sure that the number matches, and you just pair like that, and pair on the screen. And now your phone's paired, and then once in here it's just going to look for your device and connect it to Bluetooth. And if you click this button down here, you can basically see the setup connection for Android and iPhone. And down the right here is the settings, so you can actually have the icons on the right hand side or the left. You can have a floating navigation, check for updates, and it's just got device info. And then you'll see use CarPlay, and then it just pops up, and that's you in with CarPlay. The only thing that I would say about CarPlay is it does feel a wee bit laggy compared to the actual normal interface, but again it's probably because it's mirroring your phone, so it is what it is. But as you can see, you do have your maps, but I have found that the maps on iOS, especially the Apple maps, are a wee bit laggy. However, if you go to Google Maps, I've found this works a whole lot better, and when you're driving it's actually instant, whereas I've just found Apple Maps to just be a wee bit delayed. Maybe I just never gave it enough time, but as you can see it's taking a wee bit of time to come up now, but it just could be the signal where we are. It's a 4G dead zone here. You've got your messages, which you can obviously see, but with your messages, it actually speaks the message to you rather than you having to read it. I'm not going to play the full song because I don't want copyright strike, but you've got your music, podcasts, audiobooks, Google Maps, WhatsApp, VLC, calendar, Ringo as well. But it is just literally like having your phone. To get back to the actual main interface of the unit, you just press car and then it takes you back. And to get back into CarPlay, there's a wee icon down here, and all you do is click that and it takes you back in, and then you're back into the iOS app. I don't have anything Android, so I can't really test the Android version, but since this is an Android unit, I'm guessing the lag would be non-existent really, but again, I don't have Android to test, so I can't comment. So let's cover my likes and dislikes. Straight away, I love how snappy it is. Another like is basically a computer or a smartphone in your car. You can browse internet, you can watch Netflix, you can use the maps, you can listen to your music, the radio, everything all in this one device is class. There's no excuse to be picking your phone up when driving. I love as well about the gestures, the fact you can pull it down, get notifications. The other major one I love is the fact that you can customise the full screen to how you want it to look. I love the connectivity as well, the fact that you can use it as a router, you can put an SD card in it, you can put USB in it. For me, I would probably use the SD card more and just load films and, you know, music and stuff like that. So if you do want to go that extra length to customise it even more, you can obviously load your photos and your videos on it. When ATOTO reached out to me, they did say, oh, you might need to buy a power harness because it might not be compatible for your car. But as you saw when we were installing it with Scott just slotted it in. This literally was just plug and play. I think because I was overthinking it, I was making it more complicated. The whole thing from start to finish was so easy to install. The only hard part was trying to get the plastic surround on. So what's some of my dislikes? I would say the only thing I dislike is the iOS aspect to it. It is a bit laggy because the rest of the unit is so fast. I think that is the only gripe that I've got about it, but other than that, everything is spot on. So thank you ATOTO for sending out the unit, and if you guys want to pick it up, I'll leave a link to it in the description. And with the plastic surround, as I said, this was hard to get and I actually found it on eBay, but I'll leave a link to this in the description as well. So guys, that's going to cover it for the episode. Dobby now has a head unit. It just looks as though it's always been there. But guys, if you did go and enjoy the episode, why not drop it a wee like and let me know in the comments. And if you've got any questions about the install, the features, or anything like that, drop it in the comments and I'll answer it as best I can. So until the next one guys, peace.